refreshed.
Hi, Sean. How's your week going? How's your week?
I'm doing well. How are you doing? Although
Yeah,
I didn't go to bed till like 3:30, so I'm on like 3 hours of sleep right now, but rocking and rolling.
I've been awake since 2 in the morning. I actually went to the convenience store at like 3 in the morning to pick up some toiletries.
You sound ridiculous right now. You just sound ridiculous with the. Oh man.
I said I've been up since 2 in the morning. I went to get some toiletries outdoors at like 3 in the morning. Came back home, considered just hopping on my motorcycle and going for a 3:30 in the morning ride, but I wasn't sure if that would be a good idea with having neighbors and stuff like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I just kind of been on snooze mode for like the last, I can't do the math, 3 hours. I've been going full throttle bicycling. Well, first I bought a basketball, and I went out with it. I went to shoot ball a couple times just by myself. End up destroying my kneecaps just casually, just shooting around by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started bicycling. My goal was to do like bicycle 10 days in a row, right? Because I'm trying to like build up supporting leg muscles for my kneecaps, and I'm also trying to like get cardio and stuff like that. And
How many days are you on?
After the third day, man, I guess my body just needs to recover because I still can't walk. So I think I'm taking. So last time my bicycle was yesterday morning. I think I'm just going to take today off, at least from bicycling. Yeah, I'll probably do some abdominals sometime today.
Well, you wanted to do it for how many days straight?
Oh, I was trying. My goal was to do 10 days in a row.
How many days are you on?
I completed my third ride yesterday. Yesterday morning.
And
was that my third ride or my fourth?
Why didn't you just?
I think no, that was my fourth ride. That was my fourth ride yesterday morning, and I tapped out. So, what's that?
And what was the reason again that you tapped out? Is it like your kneecaps busted, or?
I tapped out because I still can't walk, and maybe I just need recovery time, even when I'm trying to support even when I'm trying to build the supporting muscles for my kneecap.
Okay.
Maybe because of other micro tears, maybe I still need to give it rest, even though I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone. I'm trying to do cardio and build lower body strength.
Yeah, I was just going to suggest you just ride your bike down the street and back, and that's enough, so you can keep your goal. But if you need to, which sounds like you do need to repair and recover, probably not a good idea.
I need to increase blood flow throughout my body, especially the lower half, Sean. And I need to, I want to be able to like jog again. I want to be able to like casually shoot a ball and not be debilitated the very next day. Like, I'm messed up, man. Anyways, I've been almost done with this mobile app for a while. I added an authentication piece that I'm trying to wrap up with, because because the authentication piece is probably important if you have gamification.
Yeah.
And if people are, they switch phones, maybe their phone breaks or they lose it and they get a new phone, they shouldn't have to start over, right? They shouldn't have to lose all their data. So I've been adding that support. I've also been refactoring all my view models so that they go from like 1,000 or 1,600 line files to hopefully like something more manageable, like maybe 700 to 800 line files, so that I don't know, to make context more efficient, or what I'm trying to get at. So in regards to the AI usage.
Yeah. Have you dug into that yet? AI usage?
Oh, I don't have time. It's kind of like I think you're going to say, dude, what do you mean you don't have time? Look at all the time you're wasting. Like that might be your response, because I think about the cartoon, like the comic book thingy of caveman, and they have a wheelbarrow on like square pegs or square wheels,
Mm-hmm.
and there's another caveman carrying a round wheel, saying, "Hey guys, wait, I think I have an idea," and they say, "Not now, we're too busy." Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that it's a big deal to say I don't have time for something, but it's just the framing of it is, it's not that you don't have time, it's that you're not making time for it. It's like you could choose to devote other time to it, but you haven't prioritized it yet, and that's fine. I mean, if you don't prioritize it,
my first application, what it's going to be when I do get on board and I start learning this AI integrated development. What my first application is going to be?
I don't know. OnlyFans for people with no arms and no legs.
Close. It's going to be revising my book so that it's finally publishable.
Oh yeah, I haven't tried that. In a while. Like just to see if you put the agenics. Like it, I had one.
The book is written. The book's written. It just needs to be revised.
Yeah, I had it build an entire book one day, like all like 100,000 words or something like that. It was pretty nuts. It was not cohesive at all, but I think that's the thing about agents is you have to find a way to essentially bubble things up and keep continuity and narrative across many smaller efforts. It's like trying to run a software organization where the top person is setting the prompt, and then everyone else has got to go off and scurry and somehow all arrive in the same direction, even though everyone's got independent ideas about how to implement things. So it's yeah, it's I could see that. So what kind of authentication are you doing on that? Or authorization and authentication?
JOT tokens.
Storing databases or passwords yourself, or using single sign-on?
A web server. And I don't think that has anything to do with databases. It's just from a client to a web server, right?
Yeah. No, I mean like from a client to but like when you're logging in, is it like log in with Google? And that's your authentication piece.
Oh.
And then you're
no.
doing a auth flow.
Nope. Sean, man, I'm advanced, man. I use biometrics. So the only thing I need from them is them to use their thumb or to point the phone at their face, and then I have their identity regardless of who their name is. And then if it's their first time launching an app, I capture their name and their preferred 2-character initials. That's it for right now.
How do you deal with this crazy ass edge case? How do you deal with identical twins?
Well, they don't have identical fingerprints.
Do they?
They don't have identical fingerprints. They don't.
Is that like is that like a manifestation not of DNA but like of the way that the environment or something like that? I'm gonna ask ChatGPT.
Not sure. Never researched it, but they don't have identical fingerprints.
But you said for the facial one though.
Well, even if that were the case, I would think that people would prefer to touch a phone to unlock it than to stare at a phone to unlock it. It's faster.
So I suppose then you're always like prohibiting them from ever using this on the desktop. If they wanted to plan all this stuff out on the desktop, you build the desktop version or web version.
That's fine. That's a separate case that I don't care about. But I still need to capture their name, their preferred 2-character initials, and their phone number, right? Because I hate having to authenticate via email. Like, no, like just what's the phone number?
Single sign-on is with like external services is probably the best way to me. Like, log in with Google, Facebook, Instagram, Microsoft, and then they just bloop bloop logged in.
Well, that's assuming that when they have a new phone, they have all that stuff set up, right? I don't know my passwords for Facebook or Yahoo or any of that. I don't know my password for my own email. So
yeah, I've got one password now. So
to me, the ideal thing is to use your thumb or to use your phone number and you get a text message back and you put in the PIN code from the text message. I don't
know, man. I am totally against biometrics after watching the 1997 hit movie Demolition Man, where Simon Phoenix escapes the cryo prison by taking a pen and digging out the eyeball of I can't remember the guy's name, but of
I thought that was a James Bond movie.
No, well, James Bond's probably. I think that trope's been used a few times, but dig out the eye and use it for biometrics. Yeah. But that was that movie. Have you watched that movie, Demolition Man?
No, that had the really, really black guy and Sylvester Stallone, right?
Yeah, it was Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone,
really,
and Sandra Bullock.
So the really, really black man.
Sandra Bullock and gosh, who's the guy? The guy who sings "I'm an Asshole." Is it David Leary? Is that his name?
I mean, on the cover of the movie, it's just Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes doing the face-off, right?
Yeah. No, it's and you haven't watched that movie?
No.
I think you'd get a kick out of that movie, and especially in the times that we're in now, kind of like it's pretty funny. It was a little bit ahead of its time.
Yeah.
I think it's 20. I think we're like 10 years out from Demolition Man. Like we've passed some of the events that they have in the book. Like, the Constitution was changed to allow Arnold Schwarzenegger to become president. Well, that didn't happen, but like he did become a governor and stuff like that. But basically, like the world collapsed somewhere around in the early 2000s or something like that, and then this guy Cocteau rebuilds it, and so they have this kind of utopia where nothing's wrong. But then the Wesley Snipes is taken out of cryo freeze for his parole, and he's been like, basically imprinted with special abilities, so he's able to escape and stuff like that. And he's a murder death killer, so nobody's had any sort of violent crime in years, so they don't know how to handle him. So they unfreeze John Spartan, who was the guy who captured Simon Phoenix, and then they set him at it. But he's got to adapt to this whole world where, like, the only restaurants are Taco Bell's, and and they're every kind of restaurant is Taco Bell. And when you swear, these little sheets of paper pop out to give you a ticket, and there's something in a bathroom about 3 seashells, and he doesn't know how to use them, and nobody knows how to use them. So it's I don't know, it's a funny movie.
Maybe I'll try to watch it tonight.
Yeah, it's a good action flick too. Classic, like, early or like 90s action film. Sparks flying, people jumping and shooting, things exploding.
A typical Hollywood movie.
Yeah, I think you'd like it.
So here's the thing that
damn it.
Here's the thing that's just, I can only imagine what like game developers go through is when you want to build something that provides value, you want to dot your I's, cross your T's, but it just takes forever because every single I dotted requires another T to be crossed. And then that T to be crossed results in another I that needs to be dotted. And so it's just scope creep, dude. So let me give you let me give you a little bit of brief history. So like last week or 2 weeks ago, I'm not sure I think I talked to you last week, right? So yeah, so last week I was like, oh, Sean, yeah, I'm like 95% done with the client, and I'm now ready to start writing the web server. And also I want to go ahead and build out the infrastructure as code, right? The DevOps piece. And then it's smooth sailing. Yeah. So I built like the web server more or less. But then because I built out the web server, the I being dotted, all of a sudden I learned that, well, now an end user has to authenticate so that they can access their data, and other people shouldn't be able to access data that's not theirs. So I have to add this authentication, right? So then I had to like update all my view models. I had to write like an authentication piece, and that authentication piece, and I'm still kind of going through it. It touched like, I swear to God, the thing touched like 20 files, right?
Clyde could have knocked that out in like an hour.
Maybe.
I guarantee it could have. Like, actually, and it would have been just fine. Like,
so it touched like 20 files, and then I also had to build a sync server, right? Because when you're on set, you're not guaranteed to have network connectivity, but the data that you capture locally on your device, when you can connect to the internet, when you can't connect to the internet, then it needs to sync to a web server, push all that data to a web server, so that again, when someone gets a new phone, they don't have to start over. And another use case is if and when the app gets adoption, then I have to build a team version of it so that people can share a project and they can see updates, right? Preferably in real time, by data being synced between devices when there is connectivity. Oh shoot! Now that I say that, I wonder. in theory, phones could still be synced without internet connectivity, but they could be synced using Bluetooth, meaning that they can still push the latest
Yeah,
state
that
of to-do
near.
items. What's that? It's not near.
Yeah, that
Near.
like near that
Nope. Nope.
near
Nope.
stuff.
Nope. Nope. Near is not 32 feet like Bluetooth is, right? Near is like I thought like maybe a foot or something. Like near is when you take your phone at
Oh, I see.
checkout
Yeah.
and you tap the kiosk thingy
Yeah,
to
yeah. Where you use it to get into your hotel room and
yeah, and it's called NFC, near field contact. I don't know what the C
I always
is.
thought that was the coolest thing, the near field contact, and like what it unlocks. I don't know. I feel
Yeah,
like there's so many uses for that we're not probably exploring. But
yeah.
anyways, but yeah,
So so now that opens up. I mean, that's the last thing that I'm interested in implementing is how do you stay offline from the network but still sync your data with your team members on set? And I guess it would be Bluetooth, but that's a separate project.
yeah, I wouldn't expect to set up Bluetooth connections to other people's phones to do this. Like if you've got the internet or a Wi-Fi signal, like that's all you need.
Yeah, but
So,
you're not guaranteed to have that, right? So, for example, if you're shooting a movie or you're doing photography, let's say inside of a cave, you're not going to have connectivity, will you? Probably not.
yeah, I mean, maybe not.
If you're in the middle of if you're in the middle of the Amazon, I mean, unless you have a Starlink account, you don't have connectivity.
So you would to answer that question, what you need to define is the persona of your like target user. Who are you building this for, and how do they use the app? If they use the app to go like you're saying, like go if they're in a cave, remote cave, doing something like that could be a specific kind of very niche, like high end probably photographer that does that.
Mm-hmm.
Very few people go out and don't have internet connectivity anymore. Even like T-Mobile's got Starlink capabilities now. So even when you're like, even when you can't get a classic cell signal, you can still get service.
Well,
So it's I would define like who they are, what are they using this for, why do they have a team that they need to sync with, and then really get specific about who that person is. You can call it, name it, even hell, name it, and think about what their journey is and how they use it, and what their primary use case is for the 80% of people that would use it,
yeah.
and drill in on that.
I
So
mean,
it's
yeah,
like if the answer is that 80% of the time or 80% of those people are going to have Wi-Fi connectivity, do that. Do the offline mode thing for the other side, and maybe that's an advanced feature. That sounds like an advanced feature, like close quarters off grid,
it
close
is.
quarters off grid team coordination. Like
All this stuff isn't necessary if no one downloads the app.
yeah, so you need to get to MVP now. Like that's what you should be thinking of, and be like, it's easiest to sync this across the server. Do that. If you want to go a little fancier, do this. Do the background sync process rather than the foreground sync. So don't make it synchronous, like they're calling the server, but they update their local model behind the scenes. That updates the server. The other ones get and come bring down and sync their side as they get signals from the server, and just follow that route. Yeah.
Dumb question. Why do I care if it's running on the? As long as the UX is free, why do I care? If it's running on the background or
No.
not.
Well, that's just a if you do lose connectivity, so if you do a spotty signal, like being able to cache that up and having it retry to later or on a thing to sync rather than affecting you. Like you want to do your work and you don't want to hit their button, have a signal blimp and be like, it's like offline mode,
What I do have to do is, or maybe not. No, So I almost said that what I do have to do is buy another mobile device hardware, and then test, and then your mechanical keyboard, and then test
just throwing prompts as we're talking.
and then test the syncing of data. But I guess I could probably get away with just launching 2 emulators.
Yeah, you know how you can really get away with launching 2 emulators?
Except I can't do the authentication part when it comes to text messaging.
As I say, you know how you can really get that is to open up that Mac that you have and get that running.
Yeah,
I can't believe you bought such a fancy, like, powerful machine. And don't get me wrong, I don't like Apple that much, so I wouldn't ever buy one probably for myself. But I admit their hardware is nice, you know. And I don't know why you wouldn't. You're probably losing like very, very micro delays in just processing speed and power that you could be, you know, if you're going to buy it, you know, the granddaddy like you did, just go use it, man.
yeah. I got 2 MacBooks.
Or set it up as a OpenClaw bot and see what that does for you. Spend all your tokens and see what it can build for you on the side as your co-pilot.
I would use that for my less beefy MacBook. I would have that do OpenClaw.
You have 2 MacBooks, man. Just
I have one high-end, top-of-the-line MacBook that's still in a box, and I have the other one that I bought like maybe four years ago to do mobile development, specifically to manage iOS devices. So, yeah.
Anyways, like I said, I think you're probably a very short Claude session away from having all that built and deployed. Like, honestly, it's as long as you can review it pretty quickly or break it up into I need to do this, and it's very focused chunks where you're not having some big change. Like, you can have it, and you can also use it to audit what you're doing. Does this make sense from like the perspective of security and why or why not? You can ask questions about your solution too, which is very nice. So hardest part is it making too much code and you not being able to understand it or not wanting to understand it because it's working. So that's the problem right now.
Well, that's why I think I told you I've been refactoring all my view models to get them to like 3/4 of the size or 2/3 of their original size.
Yeah, you can ask it for coupling and cohesion concerns too, and be like, "Can you fix those?" It's really good about those kinds of things. But yeah,
You're using big words. So what's in cohesion again? Unrelated stuff that shouldn't be in there.
Yeah, cohesion is cohesion is you want high cohesion, or is it high? I can't remember what the term that we use is, but high cohesion is a unit is about one thing and one thing only. So you don't have like active record breaks that, for instance, that pattern active record, because it mixes the data concerns of pulling it stuff in and out of the database with the actual entity itself. So it's got a dual personality. So there's a cohesion problem. Like, is it trying to be this or is it trying to be this? Or these things, like if you create a directory and you put like something about invoicing right next to something about, I don't know, shipping, like those aren't cohesive things for a module to have together in them. It might be for a broad module, like a broad capability, but not you know, a submodule or a unit. So cohesion is just how well do the things or the units that you're creating, whether they be modules or individual classes or whatever, how well do they accomplish one thing essentially, or are focused on one thing. Coupling is about, you know, architectural, like, I guess, separation, and you want loose coupling and high cohesion. That's what you aim for. So like, and there's all sorts of kinds of coupling. Like anytime that you hook two objects up together, it's a form of coupling, right? And some of them, the coupling makes sense, but sometimes it's, doesn't make sense, or you shouldn't have it. Or like you want to abstract away like your email service, for instance. You don't want to have that spread out all over where you're using things directly. You want to abstract away so you can swap out the email provider if you ever need. That's a loose coupling through interface contracts versus tight coupling, which is just directly using it everywhere. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Sorry, I could probably explain that better if I wasn't on 3 hours of sleep, but and coming down from not coming down from. I had like one of these THC drinks last night from the store, and it's actually like it's called Relax on it, so it has L-theanine in it, and it's got some CBDs too, and then some hemp-derived THC. And dude, that you drink those and you're just like, but it doesn't give me the brain fog, so I could actually like work on things, like it was a really good thing. There's this company called Stigma in the Twin Cities that makes it, which is like they put out really, really like high quality stuff.
It's probably ran by Somalis.
I don't think so. I would wager to say that they wouldn't.
What are you working on outside of work?
Right now, nothing. I'm working on work outside of work.
Slacker.
Yeah, no, I told you, like, I think last week that I got elevated. Well, I've got new responsibilities as like a lead of a small group, but it's expanded across. I'm filling in for somebody else who's gone in that same leadership position. And then the little team that I'm on is like tightly intertwined with another team. So us two leads have to like we're basically have to coordinate hand in hand. There's no, like, we could try to find a way to couple it, but it's going to, or decouple us from each other, but that's going to slow us down because it is one integrated thing. It's not two things. So,
I have to be careful how I say this so I don't get fired again. Have you ever really wanted to improve either how people work or improve how the systems work?
Yeah.
But you felt self-defeated that there's no point of even trying? Like no one asked you to do it, but because of your experience and because of your foresight and maybe because of your interests, you see massive opportunity, but you realize that the politics and the constraints, some of which are imaginary, it's just not worth even trying because the juice isn't worth the squeeze if you go through it. Like, and maybe that's the wrong phrase. You know that it's such an uphill battle that you're going to be more annoyed trying to make things better. And for what? Like,
yeah, I'd say that the one thing there is that I caught this thing one day, and it's like real senior engineers, the ones that are really effective and the ones that are really valuable, aren't the people who turn out code the fastest, because you're still, and AI has changed a lot of this, but you're still just one thread, right? And that's just you. The real senior engineers, the ones that are really effective and the ones that people like look up to and do, are the people that make other people better at their jobs and improve the throughput of the entire organization, not just themselves. And so that's like a value. That's a value add to the organization that a lot of developers don't have. And so it depends on, if the solution increases the speed to market for other people, and makes their lives easier and makes everybody deliver faster, like even if it's an uphill battle to get it in, but ultimately aligns with what leadership wants, which is they want to deliver shit, and they want to service their clients and make money. Like, who cares what the uphill battle is as long as it's defensible?
I think the worst thing you could tell someone that has a skill set and has the motivation to exercise it is to tell them what they're not in regards to the position that they were hired for. Right. So I was like, I've been told, Scott, you are not the architect. You are not the lead developer. You're here to follow, so and so's guidance. Like, okay.
Yeah,
so let me finish. So when that's said by someone that's not technical at all, but it's fascinating how people that don't build software, don't have any engineering experience, somehow manage how engineering gets executed. It still boggles my mind how that's mainstream. It's something I don't agree with at all. And it's demonstrated at every mediocre organization, in which I would argue 85% of organizations are mediocre. Some people would argue and say, no, Scott, that's 50%, but I'm not sure about that. Well, I was just say not high performing, right? But I'm using you as a therapist, Sean. That really burst my bubble, man, because I see tons of opportunity where I can like use my skill set and just get in between my certification and just my passion for like automating like regression tests and all that stuff. It's like, you know what? He's right. I'm not the architect. I'm not the lead. And these people that have these positions, you know what? Yeah, I'll just keep doing things manually. I'll keep letting bugs that are completely unnecessary seep into the system. So instead of, spending 15, 20 minutes to add another tester regression suite to make sure that the bug never comes in the first place, nah, I won't do anything. I'll just let the bugs happen. Then I'll have like 2 or 3 different meetings that are each an hour apiece, focus on that one bug that seeped in, and then another 3 to 4 days of engineering time between 3 developers going back and forth to patch that bug. Yeah, I'll just let things be.
You need to read the 48 Laws of Power.
I already read it. It's Robert Greene. I've read a number of his books. I read that book when you were in diapers. I read that book when you were in diapers.
We're almost the same age, dude.
I read that book when you were in diapers. The 48 Laws of Power, the Art of War.
What's the first law of power?
I think I even read the 50th Law. That's a Robert Greene 50 Cent collaboration.
What's the first law though?
I don't know.
Never outshine the master.
Sure that's the first one?
Yep, that is the first one, 100%. Because how I know that so well is because the reason I know about the 48 Laws of Power is that the Netflix series, when it came out, Luke Cage, which is I think now on Disney Plus, which is an excellent series, by the way. It's very, very good. Luke Cage is probably my favorite of those ones.
I don't know why I was thinking about Johnny Cage.
Yeah, no.
No, Johnny
Luke
Cage is.
Yes. Is that Mortal Kombat? No.
Yeah, it's Mortal Kombat. Yeah. Johnny Cage. He was like the movie star, the white movie star.
Yeah. Well, Luke Cage is he's like a guy from the Bronx who's got he's indestructible kind of dude. That's his mutation or whatever.
Okay.
And so he's a part of the Defenders, I think is the name of the group, which contains Jessica Jones, the Iron Fist, and oh shit, I can't remember, Daredevil, and partially the Punisher. There's associations with the Punisher, but and it's a Marvel thing. But Luke Cage, that first season was so well written, and the star power in it is really undeniable. They had let me remember the two big really big powerhouses that they had in it.
But all this is relating to the first.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah. So they have Alfred Woodard and I'm gonna forget his name, Mahershala Ali, is probably his name, and then Rosia Dawson. Like the star power between those three, and then this guy Theo Rossi, like they do such a like epic performance. But anyways, in Luke Cage, and I think it was season 1. It actually might have been season 2. That it was actually. I'm thinking the villain in that story is fighting Luke Cage or whatever, and he brings out. He's like, you know what? He brings never. The first law of 48 laws of power is never outshine the master, and so like that was built into the storyline. And I go, what the hell is the 48 laws of power, and why does he keep doing this? So that's why I picked that up. But honestly, I don't think I made it through all 48. I think because I bought the physical book, which is a stupid play for me because I don't read very well. I made it through a lot. That book was so interesting. But
it's a red book with the blue like triangle in the center of it.
Yeah,
with, I think gold lettering or something.
Yeah. But the idea of never outshine the master is like, if you want to hold power, you have to deal with these people in power, and you can't be the one to outshine them. But you can hold power.
I don't want power. I just want my job to be easier.
That's it. And no, you want the power to make your job easier. And to do that, you have to stay within the laws, right? And so if you can find ways to not to make your job easier by just making it somebody else's like benefit. Who cares that they get the shine? I
wonder how many times Steve Jobs or Elon Musk got fired.
I don't think that Elon Musk did much but entrepreneurial stuff his entire life, probably. But I don't know. Maybe he worked at Burger King, or no, he worked at like
he was at the he was part of PayPal Mafia, right?
Yeah.
I still don't know anybody that uses PayPal.
I mean, I've used PayPal before. I think it's fallen out of favor for things like Venmo and that, but for simple cash things. But PayPal is really easy for online purchasing and stuff like that. Or like if you're going to purchase from someone and you don't want to give them a credit card because you don't know who they are, PayPal is a little bit more forgiving, I think, or like it feels safer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we use, and then PayPal's got spin-offs now, right? They've got that they're like equivalent to Stripe. And
give me like 15 seconds, please. Oh,
jeez.
Well, my diet is primarily like fruits, and I'm always starving. What are you typing?
Just requesting a review on something. Lovely in the way you look tonight.
You want a grape?
Yeah, give me 2 grapes.
Yeah. Why am I making everything so sexual?
The 48 laws. Oh, I figured out the fingerprints thing. Identical twins do have identical fingerprints.
No, they don't.
In their DNA, but micro randomness in the womb causes those things to mutate. So when they come out, they don't have identical fingerprints. But if you were to like put them in a hermetically sealed thing with no abrasion, no micro interactions at all, but just have them grow perfectly in stasis, they would come out with the same fingerprints.
Without them moving inside the tank?
Yeah. Like if you could somehow achieve that, they would come where their hands develop with no environmental impact whatsoever. They would come out with the exact same thing.
Yeah. So I want to help. I want to make my job easier, but at what cost?
At what cost? No cost. If you frame it right and you actually achieve
That was rhetorical.
success, it brings everyone up. You can be the one that makes everyone else better and find a way to manage up.
I don't want to
make those people look good. Like
I
that's
don't
how you
want to.
get.
I don't want to be one person battling a culture of an organization.
Well, then switch jobs. I mean, you're getting comfortable.
No one's hiring.
There's actually more. The software jobs are ticking up.
They're not.
They are. I just caught a study or whatever, or a review of software job postings and stuff, and they've launched upward.
It's fake news.
It's not fake news. You're getting hyped by all the layoff announcements. People are building more software today than they ever have, but they need people who know how to actually do it effectively.
When's the last time you got contacted by a recruiter?
I never generally get contacted by recruiters. The only time that that was a special time in 2000 where everyone was going nuts, because of the remote work thing, and COVID. But even prior to that, I would rarely get recruiters. And actually, let me check. I have had some. Let me actually check when the last time.
I haven't had an American recruiter call me probably since COVID. Indian recruiters call me, but they don't count.
My last recruiter one was January 27th in InMail on LinkedIn. Prior to that, it was January 8th.
No one's hiring, Sean.
Prior to that, it was, what was this, November 5th? Full stack engineer at a fintech company, 225 plus bonus plus benefits is max. 80% back end roll.
That's fake news. Ghost job.
Yeah, well, that could be the case, and I think the problem isn't that the jobs aren't there. The problem is the hiring pipelines are broken because AI is able to automatically tailor and auto apply to so much that you have to rely more on connections and social proof. I think real social proof than
the case of.
That's what I'm saying. You build the AI interview me, and that's the problem. Is it's almost like we should automate the recruiting process and the job submission, have some sort of hard validation on and confirmation that people have who are what they say they are and have done what they say they are, and almost like a firm should almost be because recruiting firms are cash grab right now, right? And the recruiting firms, they want to get you in, so they do whatever they can. They're not actually, good ones will find people that actually do fit their target, but they don't really care. The recruiter to my current job, and I haven't told this up, the recruiter to my current job that I went through, they fed me the in-person coding problem ahead of time. Oh yeah, most people you do that, they end up doing this. And so they gave me a competitive advantage because they told me the answer to the test up front. Not that I wouldn't have nailed that anyways, because I would have nailed it, but I did have time to really nail it ahead of time without any sort of like not as a single hiccup, like just through it type of a thing, because it solved the problem. But I would have solved the problem quickly anyways and done it because I know the solution already. But
I'm not good at coding tests. Like if you ask me to design like a system, I think I'm pretty okay at doing that. But if you ask me to write some algorithm that does some type of sort, like I'm sorry, I can't do that in I can't do that in 5 minutes. It actually requires me to think. Translate it. I can write like CRUD operations on the spot, but when you ask me to like do a computer science algorithm, like I'm going to fail it 80% of the time. And
yeah,
the thing is I can do it. It's the fact that you're giving me a time constraint that I'm not like a coder. I just don't just dump code and da. Nor am I interested in memorizing code.
The lead code stuff. Yeah. Yeah. And that affliction hits a lot of people, and it can really filter out people. But it's hard to say because the goal of those things isn't to measure whether you can do the algorithm. It's to measure whether you like can code at all usually. Because there's a lot. I was surprised. So that same coding test now that I took, I've been on the other side of it, and it's like it's just a small, simple problem. It's not a big, complicated problem, and it's not even like it's something you should be able to figure out as a developer. And yeah, you can hit hiccups, but you should have enough tools in your tool belts to work around those and think about how to solve it in a constrained place. And so, yeah, it's yeah. People like when you get down to brass, just do you have the problem solving ability to do this small thing? Like a lot of people don't. I'm actually wondering I should try doing it again or running through a kata, because with AI, like I'm not writing code anymore. I've almost divorced myself from it to the point where I'm wondering if I start to lose the ability to do it. Yeah, atrophy, the muscle memory and the coding thing. It's more like nowadays it's more like tactical, like strategic, like tactical insertions into code to fix things. And then that's the only manual stuff I'm doing. Like what did I do last night? I have to go through now and actually verify the damn thing, which is going to be problematic because it's big. But how much code did I pump out last night? Let me look. I've pushed out 195 files last night, changes plus new files in one day to do a multi-stage like new system type thing. Like
that's a lot of files.
Yeah, it's a like a whole domain build out with features and front end and all the works full stack. So but the thing is now it's like I have to actually go through and I had to read all the automated tests too, according to my spec, and it did all of that. But I need to actually go through now and like half of that is test files. Actually, like every single unit has a test on it. It probably has 100% code coverage at this point. But yeah, to actually go through and make sure that when you integrate it and run it as a cohesive end-to-end app, all those little tests, I don't know if they composed them up correctly to actually do what it needed to do. So that's going to be the slow part now.
Make sure you add some property-based testing to it too.
I could do that. I'll tell it. Write some property-based tests. I don't even know what that means, but no.
that doesn't sound familiar.
I need to update my testing game, because with AI, like, testing isn't an option. It has to be like there, because you have to shape those tests. You have to shape the architecture and the tests around the architecture and that. And if you don't, things get out of hand and break really fast. So with AI, so I need to up my testing game.
Are you sure about that?
Oh yeah, I'm 100% sure.
So I can't have a skill. I still listen to YouTube, right? So I can't add a skill to my AI solution saying, anytime I'm asking you to write code, adhere to the principle of making illegal states underrepresentable via type system. And then in theory, if you have a type system, that type system is in theory a compilable specification. In theory, there's less tests that you need to have, right?
Correct,
all this is theory.
That is tests. Those are the compiler is a test. Like, people don't think of it that way, but it is. The compiler is the first test. That's why when you do test-driven development, the first test is actually not like, did this test succeed or fail? It's, did the thing compile or not? And you shouldn't have a compilable first test. That's your first thing with TDD to go green is you write the test. It's not built yet. It should fail the compiler. That's your first red test. Your first test is to make that green. So you go and build the structures. Then you get a real failing test, like an actual behavioral test, not a type test. That's your next iteration. People think of that second iteration as being the first test, but it's not. Unless you're in a dynamic programming language, then it doesn't. But AI works extremely well with type systems, and actually I'd say that there's a bigger case than ever for doing that functional domain modeling and doing functional programming with a very, very strong type system.
Well, it's going to produce hella files.
Yeah, well, that's the trade-off, right? But in a world where you get to a place where you stop caring about what the actual code structures and stuff are, and worry more about what's the effect of it and did it meet my spec, and get yourself step back and say, you know what, AI can decide the best way to lay out this code, and I can shape it and guide it, and I'll codify those things into skills, into subagents and stuff like that. Like, you'll just start to trust it, but you have to make sure that the tests are there and that those are what you actually need to do.
So how much between work and private do you think you're spending on computing?
On compute? I don't know, dude. We have this dashboard at the organization that I work for that shows our token usage, and it's pretty.
Oh wow, you guys seem pretty modern.
Yeah, and because we have like our Claude subscriptions or Cursor subscriptions, we have an internal tool that we use too. That's another harness around Claude and Codex and stuff, and so it like aggregates all the token usage and puts like a leaderboard. And it's actually pretty comical because you look at the leaderboard and everybody's bar is like this. And then you get to the top, and then the automated tool, which we don't have great attribution for, is like this. And I'm like this. I'm burning tokens. And I spent all last weekend burning tokens on something that I ended up throwing entirely away. But so there's a lot of waste. And there's cost to that, right? But I realized looking at the cost, it's like even as much as you can do, unless you're using max mode, I think then you'd probably fast max mode, like where it's really expensive. Like as long as you're using standard models that people use day to day, still it's like you can burn $100,000 in a year on just tokens as a software engineer. But if you're actually getting to output, that's just one software developers half of their salary for a year. So it's like if you might stop them from hiring one more developer to do that stuff. If they don't hire a developer because of AI, they've already given you basically like a $200,000 token window for the organization to use AI. That's just one developer job, like engineering job. And you can you can get a lot out of $200,000 worth of tokens. So it's like, and you obviously have to burn a little bit to start, and then you get more effective, and hopefully your token usage goes down because you'll just get more effective at prompting and that. But then it goes up because the systems that you need to do this effectively, if you really want to achieve the panacea, you have to build a system where agents do like all of the checks, do the reviews, and you separate devise work that way. And it's all basically automated from literally I type the prompt what I want, and then I shape the results, and then it shapes it afterwards. Yeah. Speaking of like paradigms and stuff with AI, is this pretty sweet, I think really good framing that somebody posted a tweet about, and I thought it was great. It was that any software team now only needs 2 people, and one of them is like a part-time optional thing. You need the pirate and the architect are the two that he said. So the pirate is the one who sits there and vibe codes hard and loose.
Pirate or parrot?
Pirate. Like,
okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if you had a Minnesotan accent. Like,
yeah, I do have a Minnesota accent. But the pirate, their job is to vibe code fast, loose, and just freaking pump out value that can get into a feedback cycle with constraints around it, right? You want to have the agents offload, making sure that the code is generally quality, and you want to have some little bit of structural, but that's the fast person. Then what you do is you have the architect, and they do the same vibe coding stuff, but they're the ones who are going through and saying, oh, it decided to do this, it decided to do this, those aren't good decisions. I'm going to go ahead and shape the code into actually a cohesive and well-structured system based on the knowledge that I have as an architect. So I could say you didn't separate concerns here, or you need to break this up into submodules, or your components in the front end are too big. Break them up into smaller things, arrange them into these vertical slices to make this able to be understood and to separate into whatever. Or you built this separate total side service. This should just be a feature in an existing vertical or something like that.
So here's a question. Do you think the time that we're in, do you think this is going to produce more NuGet packages or less?
Less. It's for the same reason that I think SaaS will be used less, is that people will just build their own now. Like, I mean, they're going to build on packages, core fundamental things like Entity Framework or Dapper, or they're gonna build on
hardware specific.
Yeah, they're gonna build on stuff like that. But when it comes to anything higher level that doesn't require a tremendous amount of engineering to do, like they're gonna, and most of those foundational packages already exist, right? We have all the building blocks. It's all of the things that you start to tack on. There might be an explosion in like API type packages or CLI type packages and tools for AI to use. But like if you're bringing in a package to do like, I don't know, like a content management system, like a headless content management thing, you might just build that yourself now, because you're not going to be constrained by it. And then like I said, I think that SaaS will slowly begin to die out. Pure SaaS, where they're just selling some sort of software capability, I think those are going to die out. And the reason why is like they don't have a moat to it anymore. Like the only reason a lot of companies don't write that software is it's not their core business thing, but they do wish they had better versions that were tailor fit to their business. they're not going to write it because the cost was so prohibitive, and they needed to focus on who they're actually serving. And so they deal with things like Salesforce. They deal with things like certain accounting software and stuff. Although accounting there's probably a case with all the legal in it that probably should be a company, but or a dedicated focused team on that. But like, let's say it's something like a PDF creator library. Like, if there's no licensing concerns with PDFs anymore, which I don't remember if there is, like, there's no reason to have a package that you use. You could just have AI build the thing that you need it to do for you. So why use that? You know, it can construct those things itself. But I think SaaS is the bigger thing. Like, why are we using this third-party system that we have to pay all this for, when really we could just have we can use off-the-shelf pieces that are good for like some backing stuff, but we could build our own dashboards on a logging server and set up our own alert structure and tailor it to the way that our business operates. And I think like Jira is going to finally die. Like, ticket tracking in general is going to either greatly be reduced or just die. That's a firm thing that I think is going to happen. That's built around like handoffs to people and working in slow streams. It doesn't work with as fast as AI moves. It doesn't work anymore. Linear, there's a company called Linear. They're pivoting because they're realizing that tickets are dead. And that was what their business model was. So why is this fucking not working? Anyways,
Gambler is quiet.
What the fuck? Why?
Hey, potty mouth.
Sorry. Oh, never mind. It merged. Why am I changing it?
How's Reggie doing?
He's doing good. I haven't been able to give him enough attention because I've been so focused on work lately that he was giving me kind of some like evil eyes last night, or like judgmental eyes. Like,
Oh, yeah.
You bastard, what are you doing? I need my pets right now, dude, or I want to go outside. One of the two. Give it to me. He's just looking at me. I'm sitting there on my laptop. Don't judge me, man. And he's a good dog.
My dog, she would grab her dog bone and throw it against the wall, like, feed me, mother effer. She would throw it against the wall and she would just stare at me. Like, oh, she was smart, man.
Yeah.
She would always go to the door when she needed to go use the bathroom. I've been looking for another mini bull terrier, but it's so hard to find them in Florida.
Florida. Oh man. Oh, but yeah, you need to get on. You need to try it, man. You might like it more than you think if you can.
I mean, I'm not going to have a choice if I need to pay my bills. Like, I'm not going to have the choice, man. It's just, I just want to finish this project real fast, and then I'll promise you, I'll go. I mean, I think you know my personality, man. Like, usually when I set my sights on something, I usually go like full throttle.
Yeah. Like I said, though, like, if you went full throttle on it now, that would actually solve the first one, probably. Like, I can guarantee you an AI, like a weekend on a project like this that has no existing users that you have to account for, given a weekend and a Claude Pro subscription, I'd have the entire thing built and done. If I knew the exact UX vision, the spec for it, like, guaranteed you'd have a workable piece of software with all the features plus more, every feature you wanted to build in a weekend.
It's already there.
Yeah, but it's not released.
I have the no. What I'm saying is I have a file that provides the general app overview and UI UX guidelines, and then I got like 15 more files that are requirements. Right. So I have one file called user account.txt, and that has requirements for authenticating a user.
Yeah, and then literally all you have to do is take those specs and say build it, and it will take the spec and build it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing manually. I'm copy pasting back and forth between
Don't do it manually.
Yeah.
Just take a branch off of it, get Claude Code, bite it. There's a desktop version now that you can use that if you don't like the CLI experience, or that's probably a little bit easier, or even use Cursor with its agents mode. It's not as capable, I don't think. Codex is pretty capable. Any of those. Gemini is probably the bottom tier at this point. So you're at a disadvantage using that one. But yeah, like you can build it out. And then the thing is that's great about it is if you don't like what it did, you throw it away, adjust your spec, and then have it do it all over again. All you're burning is compute and tokens. But if you're on a $200 a month Claude subscription plan as a single person, it's very hard to hit your compute without something like OpenClaw or, agents that just run off on their own.
So I'll pay $40 a month for Gemini, and something that I guess it is what it is it will throttle me, meaning that I'll have like maybe a 2-hour session of going back and forth, copy paste with my prompts, and then for the Gemini Pro tier, and then it suspends the Gemini Pro tier. And if I want to continue using it, I have to wait like a couple hours.
Yeah, that's with all of them. You need to buy like for Claude, the Pro is useless for anything but just getting your feet wet. The $100 one you can be very effective with in dedicated sessions. The $200 one you can be dedicated in many sessions and many things going on concurrently. I bought the $200 one for myself personally. I haven't used it over the last couple of weeks because I'm doing work outside of work, but before that, I was literally pumping out like 3 different prototypes at a time, just looking at different ideas and trying to get to, like, what if we could do spec-driven development through Slack, like not Slack itself, but build a multi-user chat interface where the goal of it is to have conversations that reduce to a spec that then is in a system that then an agent picks up to build using a CLI. Like you could build that in like the foundation for it in literally a couple hours. Like it's going to be buggy as sin unless you direct it, because you have to really have strong ability to translate your intent and your desires and set up the guardrails for architecture so that it doesn't go off the rails. If you want something beyond just like a simple prototype that's actually production ready.
Gambler says, my prediction of AI impact is way more mundane improvements. Certainly, I expect a bunch of new successes of software that would have never been built without it. You think that's true? You think there's some software or some systems that would never be able to be built without AI intervention?
Or that can't be built, or that you wouldn't need AI or you shouldn't use AI for? Or
No. Do you think that within the next 5 years or 60 months that there will be some systems that have been introduced to either society or governments or whatever that would never have been delivered or released without AI?
100%. There's a whole new things like software is not a moat. It's not it's cheap now. It's very cheap. Good software and directing it to be production quality isn't yet. As soon as you codify that into the system,
what problem can AI what system or software can AI deliver that human beings can't by just single-handedly writing code themselves?
Oh, that, I mean, nothing. There, it's just time
I
and
mean, it
it's
still
all just
requires
time and
correlation. Yeah.
yeah, it's all just time and effort, right? The thing is that you can sit down and do the work of 100 people in a software org in a weekend with AI.
Let's just fire all developers, and now we just have women. I'm sorry, Scrum Masters. Now they use AI to deliver software features.
That's the thing is that's where we're probably moving, but and I'm not joking about that. I honestly think that if you look at Anthropic's cadence and how fast they pump out software, and they've got something like this thing locked in where they can deliver. I've never seen a company deliver features that fast, like ever, and it just works, right? And they're using their own tools. They still have people, software engineers. They're still shaping. They're still deciding what to do, and they're making sure things don't go off the rails. But the more you codify higher level systems on top of AI and better harnesses and better checks and balances, we got to pivot. I see that the 5 years that the job is, we know there will be no more programming jobs probably in 5 years, unless again, like the token cost thing comes to play, and that might delay it, but it's not going to be forever. If we want to solve it because there's a capital need to solve it, we're going to solve it. Like, people will have breakthroughs. They're going to get cheaper, faster. We're going to invest more in alternatives or energy sources that are sustainable.
So in conclusion, you said Scott has already been done. Anthropic is a prime example. Their system is 90% written in AI.
I'm guessing it's probably 90% written in AI, and it's fast, and it works, and it's delivered at a cadence that you don't see out of traditional software companies. Like every week, it's a new set of really useful features. Like you don't even have to type if you want anymore, because Claude has a voice mode. And you can just literally sit back and be like, yeah, and with some of this stuff, you can let it control your PC too, right? So you can just sit back and be like, yeah, go ahead, and what I want you to do is adjust this, show it to me. You let it run. Okay. And all you have to do is dictate. I'm not using that yet, but I'm like, I must be slow on the uptake for some certain features. But yeah, if you got the systems in place of LLMs to check and balance stuff, and a pipeline that you've built out to do that, the building system is what I think of it, where the intelligence bit is built into the way that you frame it, and it's agentic. Dude, that's why I think there's actually a really fun whole subset of like just ideation and fun, like problem solving around how do I build the system that can actually just take a single user's prompt and get to delivered exactly what they want, like in hours instead of days or months. Like it's a fun engineering problem to think about, and a lot of people are trying to solve it right now. And I think it's something you might actually enjoy, with all of the stuff that you've done. So, anyways,
on that note,
I'm burning out. Yeah. All right.
It's been real. Thanks for sharing.
Yep. We'll catch you next week. Yep.
I expect someone with a good business sense creating a product that they never could have gotten off the ground without AI coding.
That's already happened. It's already happened.
I would never be able to build this. The current name of this app is called Setwire that I'm building. And I would never be able to do the UI piece or the UX piece. I wouldn't. I'm a smart dude. I could figure out the back end code, but the actual like UX, I would never be able to build it such that it's as compelling as it looks right now. So
yeah, Yeah, you basically have got a superpower arm that you didn't have before, and like everyone does though, and software is cheap. It's cheap. It's not expensive to build anymore. What's expensive is finding people that know how to build, use those tools to, and put the systems in place that it is effective, and have the product mindset of how can I actually generate revenue for my company, not just be a cost center. Like what ideas do I bring to the table? What execution do I bring to the table through AI? Those are the new value props for devs. If you're just a programmer, you're gone. Like I hate to be like the thing, but if you got the just I'm a programmer, I take a spec and turn it into working code, that's not, it's gone. Like if you're working off of a spec that someone else hands off to you, and that's what you do, your job is to execute that thing into code, it's eventually going away.
If you really believe that, then why aren't you more aggressive in producing your own products?
I'm aggressive on helping the company that I have produce the product, and I want to be incredibly valuable in that and be one who accomplishes these things.
Okay.
And is enabling, and that's how I stay on, because I don't like, if a company is going to do the purge of developers at some point, and God forbid, I don't want anyone that I work with to get laid off, but it could happen, right? And that's the realistic thing about it, is anybody who doesn't get onto the find another way to be valuable, not just be a programmer. Like, yeah, or like turning a spec into code was never a thing for anybody who is a good engineer, I think. But I know developers that I've worked with who, like, they want everything in requirements, hard. They hate the ambiguity, and they hate these things because they just want the spec and they want to turn it into code, and that's what they want to do. Like, and that's what they can't. They don't want to think about the product. They just give me the requirements and I'll build it, like thing. They're the ones who would, if they were doctors, would be like, if somebody came in and said, my arm is broken here, but if I hold it like this, it doesn't hurt. You just tape that up. They'd say, yep. And they'd throw the tape around your arm and say, you're good to go. Rather than actually fixing the problem and looking at the underlying thing and finding a way to contribute value back. That's still valuable. And those engineers will survive. Programmers who just want to turn specs into code, and they're the thing they always lusted for was the spec, the perfect spec that will never exist for them. That job is being automated.
I think I see things a little bit differently. Let's call them coders, right? And
I say programmers because that's what they are. That's what's doing.
Yeah,
but coders, yeah,
that's fine. In my experience, let's go back to mediocre organizations. There's a lot of them. The majority of mediocre organizations, they're not expecting a programmer or coder to be a collaborator. They expect them to keep your head down and do as I tell you to do. That's it. Like,
yeah, those organizations will die.
The majority of the organizations, they hire code monkeys. They don't expect these people to think on their own. They don't expect these people to contribute like their knowledge of, you know, what would increase clicks, or what would improve a UX and hopefully bring in more money one way or another. They're not interested in their ideas. They're not.
Well, yeah, they have.
I'm telling you, they're not.
I know that's a fact, and those companies are going to die out unless there's some other like moat that they have that just people can't touch. Like
those companies,
like the government
monopoly. Yeah,
you know, you have to have a monopoly on something. Yeah, but the thing is like, you can disrupt a lot, you know, with one person and a piece of software, and just building it, executing it on it faster, better, you know, stronger. But But then again, like I said, a lot of companies it can't be pure software. It has to be other things. Pure software will probably, companies that sell pure software are probably going to die out, I think. Like they sell a thing that if you could build it with Claude in a weekend and get 80% of the functionality you use day to day, there's no reason to pay someone $100,000 a year to host an instance for you and stuff. You just put it on your own infra.
On that note,
yep, I'm probably
start my day.
All right, good talk.
Yeah, likewise, good stuff. I learned something.
Good weekend.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.